Hello children, I'm so happy to be taking class for you again. If you remember the last class, we did India's international relations. I hope you remember everything that I taught you in that class. It's very simple, okay? It's how India keeps a good friendly relationship with all her neighboring countries. What are her neighboring countries? Afghanistan, Pakistan, Myanmar, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Nepal, China, Bangladesh. Alright, so we have about 8 neighboring countries. Now, today we are going to go more further into the lesson. Okay, we're going to do the second part of the lesson. Alright, so if you just look at the slide on the TV, you will see India's relationships with developed countries. Alright, now if you look at the picture, you can see all these skyscrapers, you can see all these lovely big buildings, all very posh, very nice and full air conditioned buildings. We have buildings like that in our country as well. But the only thing is the entire landscape of India is not like that. Okay. So look at the points over there. It says a developed country is a sovereign state that has a highly developed economy and advanced technological infrastructure. I mean, India is getting there. We are a developing country. We are not completely developed like how the other countries are, but we are developing, okay, and we are developing rapidly. We will reach there very soon. All right. Look at the second point. So it says that India has been balancing the superpowers with great care. Yes. So India has always maintained a good relationship with all the other countries. At least tries to always maintain a good relationship with all the other countries. Okay. Now, if you look at the map, you can see 3 different colors. Yes, you can see blue, orange and red. Now, you have the color coding over there. The blue is all the developed countries. So, if you know your world map, right, you have North America, then you have Western Europe, then you can see Australia, Japan, all these are the developed countries. Then you look at the orange places. Okay, these are all the developing countries. If you see again, Central America, South America, you can see parts of Africa, then Europe, Asia, we are all developing countries. And then if you look at the red color coded countries, you can see most parts of Africa, you can see Central Asia, okay, West Asia, you can see Southeast Asia, all these are least developed countries and they are yet to develop. There is a lot of work yet to be done. That is why India tries to collaborate and join with all the various nations of the world and tries to help all the other nations. Okay. Now look at the next slide. If you see over there, we are going to first talk about India with USA. Okay. So there is something called as COMCASA, that is Communications Compatibility and Security Agreement. This was signed between India and the United States. If you see over there in the picture, you can see defense and the USA defense ministers together over there signing the agreement. Okay, now this is a bilateral military partnership. Now you know that USA has amazing equipment. Yes, if you see in movies and all that, all the atom bombs, nuclears and the gun power, and there are so many different things. Yes, you just look at movies in awe and you say, oh my God, all this is over there. They have so many different things. Now, we have an agreement with USA. If you look at the third point, it says it allows real-time information sharing. That means whatever is new, whatever is introduced, they share it with our country. Okay, they give us the information as well in technology and in military equipment. Okay, if you see, COMCASA is one of the agreements that we have signed with USA. Actually, there are 4 various agreements that have to be signed. Amongst them, about 3 are signed already with USA. So then we will have a very strong defense in our country. All right. Okay. Now look at the next slide. You see ISA, that is the International Solar Alliance. You know we have solar panels. Yes. It attracts the energy of the sun, okay, and converts it into electricity. So many places now they are trying to go take the energy from the sun and change it into electricity. All right. Trying to be more nature friendly. Now, if you see here our country with European nations, if you look at the points, we have significant process in all areas. Okay, so we have growing cooperation and exchanges in defense, counterterrorism. What is counterterrorism? That means we all don't like terrorism. Yes, we do not like someone just coming into our country and shooting us and killing us in the name of their country or being patriotic or something like that. Yes. So if you look at it over here, counterterrorism is a country tries to take different initiatives to stop terrorism, like anti-terrorism. Okay. Then you have nuclear energy and space. ISRO is our space research station, that is Indian Space Research Organization. Okay, but every country has their own organization where they learn different things, and they all are trying to make a way to go into space. Even we had talks about going to Mars. Yes, so there are a lot of things that are happening that we should also learn about. Okay, and those things are helping our countries develop. Now, if you look at the next point, we have India and France are cooperating on developing smart cities. Okay, I think I already told you in the last episode that I took. Smart cities, where all these cities have technology and various developments and infrastructure like the developed countries. Okay, the last one, it brings together countries between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Why all the countries which are along the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn? Actually, about 121 countries are members. Okay, because if you look at the way the earth is, the sun's rays or the sun's heat falls mostly on the equator, Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer, whereas there is less sunlight or heat alongside the poles, the North Pole and the South Pole. So these countries, it's more easier for them to go into solar alliance, okay, using the sun's energy for electricity. All right, this is just an image over here where you have the founding conference of the International Solar Alliance, which happened in 2018, 2 years ago. Now, next we have India and Australia. Okay, if you see over there, you have Aussie Index 2019. Okay, you can see a ship over there on the ocean. Yes, all right. Now, if you look at this picture, it's more like a navy ship, okay, or a battleship. Okay, you know, in the world map we have India, and then we have the Indian Ocean. Down south we have Australia. So this is the tie between India and Australia. Okay, if you look at the points, India and Australia have built strategic trust over the years. Okay, because they both have an alliance based on maritime, that is RAN, okay, that is the Royal Australian Navy. They brought up this Aussie Index agreement between India and Australia. If you look at the second one, they are committed to working together to enhance maritime cooperation with India's bilateral naval exercise. Okay, so we have a vast ocean, yes, the Indian Ocean. It's not just plain water. There are various laws, like I told you last class also, there are various laws. Okay, and each country has a say in something or the other. Okay, it's just not the plain ocean where any country can go and trade and do whatever they want on the ocean. It's not like that. Okay, if you look at it ocean wise, there are always various treaties and various laws that are signed between all these countries to keep the peace. Okay, and there should be an understanding. Okay, so look at the next slide now. Shinkansen. Now this is, we have very fast trains. Okay, they are also called as bullet trains. Okay, you know, when somebody shoots a gun, you all see a lot of movies. Yes, the actor will take, or Vijay or someone, they'll take a gun, they'll shoot it, the bullet will go so fast, and then that's it, next person is dead. Yes or no? So the speed that it goes through is also known as a bullet train. Okay, now actually in Japan, they wanted to join, you know, in the world map, Japan is like islands. Yeah, so they wanted to join various places with the capital. Tokyo is the capital of Japan. So because they wanted fast mode of transport, they brought about the bullet train, otherwise known as Shinkansen. Okay, now it's a very high speed railway system, and it's also very safe. If you look at the next one, Japan has invested in our country as well. If you see the Delhi Metro, the first picture on top is the Delhi Metro. Okay, it's very successful, and it's an example of Japan's cooperation with our country. If you look down, you also see Japan's minister and our Prime Minister as well. They over there were with the Ahmedabad, and if you look at the second point, Mumbai Ahmedabad High Speed Railway, MAHSR. Okay, here we see another cooperation of Japan and India. Okay, where they are going to bring about the bullet train in our country as well, and this will be the first of its kind in our country. All right, now this is not yet completed. Now we are only in 2020. Yes, it will take another 3 years. According to the reports, it's probably said to be completed by 2023. It will open in 2023. Okay. Look at the next. It's very interesting when we look at our country and China and Japan and all that. Japan, they manufacture so well. If you see the cars, amazing, beautiful cars. Yes, all high-speed racing cars, different modes of technology. If you see, even you get these WhatsApp messages where you'll see like when somebody is mopping the floor, okay, you will have a machine over there by the door. They will just walk into that machine and there will be a plastic which grabs the shoe, and then they will walk and they will put the next foot over there and the plastic grabs the shoe and they will walk. So when somebody is mopping the floor will not get dirty. Normally when we walk in and out, some mummy is sweeping and swabbing and all that, we will just be running this side, running that side. Yes or no? We will not bother if we are dirtying the place or not. I mean, you all are children, I understand. But all these are small innovations, okay? When someone thinks something, they bring it out into a invention. So you see so many things where Japan and China have brought about so many innovative things, all right. So they have invested in our country and they said they are going to open out Japan-India Institute of Manufacturing. In fact, it's already opened out, okay, Japan-India Institute of Manufacturing, where they provide training for 30,000 Indian people, okay, to teach them the skill and to teach them all about manufacturing and all that, to bring up our country as being more developed. So, Make in India, that was what was brought about by Prime Minister Modi last year. Make in India, where we want, or rather our Prime Minister wants to bring up our country so well that we will make a grand variety of various products. Okay, so if you look over here in 2017, look at the second point, children. In 2017, the first 4 gyms, that is India Institute of Manufacturing, they were started in states of Gujarat, Karnataka, Rajasthan and Tamil Nadu. Okay, and now we even have various courses in Andhra Pradesh. All right. So we see even India-Japan joint laboratories, okay, for information and communication technology. Now we are in a very, very fast growing age. Yes or no? When I was small, I never had a phone. Okay, but when now you all are studying, you all have smartphones, you all have online classes. Okay, everything is progressing so fast. Even children at the age of 2 and 3 know how to unlock a phone, how to handle a phone, how to go to YouTube, how to watch Cocomelon. Yes, so even children so small are in direct contact with technology. Okay, so technology is very, very important. We all have to upgrade ourselves and learn. I mean, hats off to all the teachers, right? We all are upgrading ourselves. Now we're taking online classes for you. You are learning over the phone, not even by meeting us personally. So communication technology and information technology are very, very important, and we all must pay attention to it. Okay, so here we have artificial intelligence, big data analytics, Internet of Things. Okay, it's always important when you do not understand anything, go on Google, find out the meaning, learn. All right. So here we have Japan and India ties on various things. This is just an image. Maruti Suzuki, you know, right, the brand of car. Over here you have Japan India Institute for Manufacturing. This is actually the second batch, where they learn from the people over there, from Japanese professors or teachers, how to do various structures of manufacturing, being innovative and invent various things. Okay, India and West Asia. If you look at the map over there, you can see Turkey, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt. Towards the east, actually, you have India, and now this is West. This is part of West Asia. Okay, so if you look at the map below that, the second map down over there, we can see even dating back to prehistoric times, you can see Indus Valley civilization. There are only 2 names mentioned there. Okay, Indus Valley and Mesopotamia. So from Indus Valley, you can see over there the loop going all the way to Mesopotamia. We had wonderful trade relations even dating back to that time, that is between India and West Asia. Okay. Now, if you look over here, West Asia stands as a region of considerable significance for India economically as well as strategically. The second point is very important, children. If you look at the map and relate with the second point, okay, West Asia is gateway to landlocked and energy-rich Central Asia. Now, if you look at the map, like I'm saying, look at the map very carefully, okay, you have India there, above that you have circled bullet points, yes, and it all goes out to various places in Central Asia. So, if you look over here on the map, Central Asia is very rich, okay, you have uranium, you have various minings, you have hydropower stations, okay. So, this rich place is landlocked. I told you in the previous class what is landlocked. Yes, landlocked meaning there is no way you have to, if you want to go to that place, you have to go through some other place. So, to go to Central Asia, it is easy to go through West Asia, through waterways, naval, okay, our navy. Alright, so that is why it says that it is the gateway to landlocked, energy rich. Okay, there is so much of energy trapped in Central Asia. So if you look at the next slide, with the advent of the new millennium, there has been extraordinary turnaround in the relationship between Gulf Cooperation Council. Okay, so if you see over here, we have our cooperation with the Gulf regions. There is a map in the next slide. If you look over there, from India, there's a red dot over there going all the way to the Gulf of Oman. Over there you can see Chabadhar port, okay, and then traveling all the way and going into Afghanistan. Okay, I'm just going back to the previous slide to read the point over there. It's a trilateral agreement. Tri, I told you bi, which means two. Tri, three. Okay, trilateral agreement called the Chabahar Agreement. It was signed between India, Afghanistan and Iran. Okay. So, it is establishment of transit and transport corridor among three countries using this port. Okay. This port is a golden gateway for India to access landlocked markets of Afghanistan and Central Asia, bypassing Pakistan. Now, in the next slide, like I told you, India, Iran, Afghanistan. You can see the one in saffron, mustard color. You see India there, then you see Iran and Afghanistan. Okay. So, from India, you are going to Chabahar port and then you can go into Afghanistan. So, this is the route, it is a transit. Okay. Now, they are saying bypassing Pakistan. So, if you look into the map over there, you can see from India, they are not stopping at Gwadar port, they are bypassing. Bypassing means to go around, not touch that place. Okay. So, they are crossing Pakistan, they are not going through Pakistan, alright. So, bypassing Pakistan, this is the trilateral agreement. It is a golden gateway for India to access the markets of Afghanistan, okay, because Afghanistan is a landlocked place. Like I told you about Central Asia, Afghanistan is a landlocked place, okay. So, by having this agreement, it is easy for India to go via Chabadhar port to Afghanistan. In fact, in the last class when I told you about India and Afghanistan, I told you that Afghanistan is not very developed. They have so much of resources and such a rich land over there, but they are not able to mine their land and take out the riches themselves. Okay, so they had an agreement with India. Okay, so one of the oldest maritime trading routes ran from ancient Sumeria via Bahrain to the Indus civilization called Meluha. There's actually a book called The Immortals of Meluha. It talks about Lord Shiva and the trilogy, Shiva trilogy. Okay, but anyway, coming back to the lesson. The parts around Indus Valley civilization, rather the northern provinces of India, all of that was called Meluha. Okay. Now, if you see from there, if you look at the map, Indus Valley civilization is on the east. Okay. So, it goes via Magan, you have copper trade, then it goes Dilman, you have pearls and dates, various trade, and then you go to Mesopotamia where you also get wheat. Okay. So, this route was actually one of the oldest trading routes. Okay. Now, if you look down, you have a quote over there by M.S. Agwani, alright. The Indian expertise in medicine, mathematics and astronomy was highly valued by Arab and Iranian scholars who eventually made it part of their own intellectual traditions, okay. Arabs invaded our country, and when they came in at that time, they learned a lot from our books, okay, from our books of old. If you see in astronomy and mathematics, especially the value of zero, that went from India. Chess, the game chess, that was learned from our people, from India. Okay, so before it was only 1 to 9. I'm sorry, the digits, say 1 to 9, but the value of zero, that zero means nothing. Okay, zero is nothing. The value of zero was learned actually from India and then spread to other parts of the world. Okay, even astronomy and a lot of books were all translated to their languages and were distributed to various parts of the world. Okay, so our country actually has a very rich literature, okay, based on everything that they have been through, and lot of science and mathematics and astronomy that had been translated into various languages. All right. Okay, so if you look over here, India and international organizations. India is a potential superpower. Yes, we know how India was. In fact, before we being colonized by the Britishers and before we being invaded, India was a very rich country. We had a lot of riches. We had, even our land was so rich. We had so many things, And after all the invasions and colonization and all that, we had lost so much because other countries had actually come and taken what we had and gone away. Okay, so India has a lot of growing international influence. All right. So now it's actually a developing country. It's newly industrialized. Okay, and this lesson tells us about India collaborating with other countries, right? So now, since India is growing, India is trying to have ties with other countries so that they can mutually benefit. So here we have various international organizations that India is a part of, and some of the organizations India has also been a part of the founding members. All right. Now, looking at the next slide, if you see over there, India is a member of formal groups like you have UNO, NAM, SAARC, G20 and the Commonwealth. Okay. It also has been extending a hand to the UNO, that is all the military conflicts and trying to promote peace and trying to prevent terrorism and all that. India also helps the United Nations organization. We know how India is growing, right, in power, and there are other countries as well like India who are developing. So if you look at your screen, you can see BRICS. Okay, so the first one is Brazil, then R, Russia, I, India, C, China, and S, South Africa. So all these, like India, are growing powers. Okay, if you look over here, you have our Prime Minister over there with the other countries, with the officials of other countries as well. Okay, so these are leading growing powers. Okay, so they try to help each other. It's like a battle of the north of the world versus the south of the world. Okay, because you have US and UK and Russia and all who are very like strong superpowers. Okay, so our countries are trying to come up. All right, not exactly to bring them down, but like to develop together. All right, if you look at the point over there, India is an active member, and this collaboration as in collaborating with these other countries, has paved way for India to build its global profile. This is not the only way where India is building its global profile. Actually, from dating back to many centuries to prehistoric times and all that, India has always been on the map as one rich mineral source. Okay, and our culture and everything about our country has always, grasped the attention of other countries. All right. The headquarters of BRICS is in Shanghai, that is in China. All right. Now, the reason for formation of BRICS. Now, why was BRICS formed? Now, we have all these Brazil, Russia, India and China and South Africa. We have all of them trying to grow together, trying to develop together for their own people. Okay. Now, here actually it says to be an alternative to World Bank and IMF to challenge US supremacy. Okay, that is the monetary funds. All right. It actually says over here that it wants to challenge the US supremacy. In 2008, okay, there was a financial crisis. All right. And you know that the US dollar is very, very high. It's about 74 odd rupees. And then you have the euro, that is about 84 rupees or something. That is 1 euro will be about 84 Indian rupees and $1 will be about 74 Indian rupees. Okay, that's really high, right? So they are like dominating the market. All right. So to battle this or to go against this and to come up with something that is somewhat all right for everyone, for all the members, for all the nations of the world, they have started this collaboration called BRICS. Okay. Look at the second point. To provide self-owned and self-managed organizations to carry out developmental and economic plans in the member nations. So, like I told you before, they help each other. The member nations help each other. So, India is being actively engaged in general economic diplomacy, which is evident in the country, being part of several economic coalitions as listed in the table below. So, now we are going to look at the table where India is a part of various collaborations with various nations, okay, forming whether it be agriculture or water or mineral resources or petroleum or something. There are various ties up where India has agreement with various nations of the world. So, we are just going to look at it in the table below. So, first is IBSA, that is India, Brazil, South Africa. Okay, they focus on the agriculture, the education, the trade and culture, okay, and defending the nations as well. Next, you have BCIM, Bangladesh, China, India and Myanmar. Okay, so here you see, to respond to threats such as natural disasters and data breaches and protect business interests. You have over there, see, IBSA, that is the logo, BCIM, that is the logo. If you look over there, I told you about agriculture, right? And then over here you have the Southwestern Silk Road. It's joining, if you see over there, you can see Bangladesh, you can see Myanmar, that's BM, then you can see China along with India. So, if you see from India, the road from Kolkata starts and goes all the way to China. Okay, so this is also known as the Silk Road, connecting these 4 nations. Okay, now the next 2 we are going to talk about is MGC, that is the Mekong-Ganga cooperation. Okay, Mekong River and the Ganga River, the basins, they are very rich and fertile. Okay, but they are not very well developed countries over there: India, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam. So what is this collaboration for? It wants to create necessary infrastructure facilities in these Congo basins, because these are rich, fertile rich basins. Okay, but there has to be proper infrastructure, there has to be proper facilities to take whatever minerals or the riches that can be found in these basins. The next one, if you see over here, that is the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. Okay, so here we are saying, like I spoke to you about technology before, right? It wants to strengthen and improve the technological economic cooperation, the international trade and foreign direct investment cooperation. Okay, see, when our country deals with other countries, okay, foreign investments and all that, there has to be some economic cooperation, there has to be some agreement between the nations. If you see here, we have Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Bhutan and Nepal. If you see this next image, it talks about the Mekong-Ganga cooperation. You have the Ganga basin there and you have the Mekong basin down over there by Thailand. So here they want to bring in proper infrastructure. Okay, if you see the next one, that is BIMSTEC, that stands for the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. Okay, this combined GDP of all these countries is $2.7 trillion. Okay, so it says over here that 1/4 of the world's traded goods cross the Bay of Bengal every year. All right. Now, the next one is RCEP, that is Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Okay, if you see the list of names over there, Australia, Brunei, Cambodia, China, India, Indonesia, Japan, Korea, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand and Vietnam. Now, what does this collaboration want to achieve? Okay, over here it says it covers trade in goods, trade in service, investments, technical cooperation and dispute settlements. Okay, that is, it has mutual benefit. If you look at the next picture, it says over here that these nations have free trade agreement with each other. Okay, you have EAS, that is East Asia Summit, that is 10 Asian nations plus 8 strategic partners including US, China, India and Japan. Now, what is this collaboration for? To promote peace and stability. Okay, the next one is GCC, that is Gulf Cooperation Council. You have Bahrain. If you look at the picture here, you see over there in the map, you have Bahrain, Kuwait, Iran, Saudi Arabia, UAE and Oman and Qatar. Okay, so what does the GCC aim to achieve? To achieve unity based on their common objectives. If you see over here, all the Middle Eastern countries, they have common objectives. Okay, so they have similar cultural identities. So this is what they want to achieve. Now, BBIN, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India and Nepal. Okay, in the map which is over there, you have Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, India. Okay, so this is for them to achieve energy development, all right, through these very 4 countries. Now, SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the members of SCO is India, Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. Okay, so this is for security related concerns, resolving border issues and intelligence sharing and countering terrorism. If you see over here on this map on the right, you can see most of it is along the border, the member states of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay, now next, objectives of BRICS. Okay, what do they want to achieve? All right, so if you see your points over here, it acts as a bridge between developed and developing countries. As I told you earlier, the members of BRICS are developing countries. Okay, so they aim to be a bridge between the developing countries and the developed countries. All right. Now, they want to contribute extensively to development of humanity. Now, many people, they do not have jobs, they do not have food, there's a lot of poverty in the world. Okay, many people do not have water to drink, all right. So, they want to develop the way human beings are treated, the way human beings are living, all right. They want to develop the standard, all right. They want to establish a more equitable and fair world. Nowadays, everything is all bribes and everything is unfair. Okay, so they want to establish a fair world. The next one is it boosts intra-BRICS trade. Intra means in between them, in between the member nations itself, it boosts their trade. They trade between themselves, all right, and they trade in their local currencies. all right? There's no specific currency that they have to follow. They trade in their local currencies to increase the trade cooperation and cope with the current international financial crisis, all right? So right now we have a lot of financial crisis going on all around the world, all right? So that is why they use their local currencies to trade. What do? They also promote technological information, okay, among the member states. Again, technology is very, very important today. So they exchange technological information. Then they enhance inclusive economic growth, all right? And by doing this, it will lead to an increase in the creation of jobs. It will fight against poverty and accelerate the economic transformation of the members. So what do? All together, they depend on each other, and all together they want to grow economically. And by doing this, they will fight against poverty and increase the jobs for their people, thereby growing and transforming economically, all right? So looking at the next slide, if you see over there, there's a bank over there with BRICS, yes? Their financial architecture is, they've developed a new bank called the New Development Bank, okay? Multilateral Development Bank, all right? Its primary focus is lending money, lending to build various infrastructures, all right? Various infrastructure products. Their primary focus is to lend money for that. It also aims to contribute to development plans established naturally through projects that are socially, environmentally and economically sustainable. So any project, okay, which is established, which is socially, environmentally and economically sustainable, okay, which we will get back something from it, all right, it contributes to the development of these plans. It gives priority to projects aimed at developing renewable energy sources, okay. Renewable energy is the energy that can be renewed, okay. There is renewable and non-renewable energy, okay. So it prioritizes on renewable energy sources. The next one is CRA, Contingent Reserve Arrangement, okay, to provide protection against global liquidity pressures, which includes currency issues. So if you see over here, BRICS does not want to go according to the something called as SWIFT. SWIFT is undertaken by the other superpowers like US and European countries, okay. But BRICS already had summits where they have discussed about starting cryptocurrency known as BRICS cryptocurrency, okay, where you don't have to use the money that we have actually now, but you can use currency online. It's transferable and you can use it for buying as well, okay. Now here we have the factors that bolster cooperation among members. Now first one, what we have is the common need among developing countries is to construct an economic order. It has to have an order that reflects the current situation. So if you see over here, the NDB and CRA, that is the New Development Bank, like I just spoke about, okay. And you also have the Contingent Reserve Arrangement, okay. So these are defining changes and will have huge geo-economic and geopolitical impact, all right. Now what is the second thing? The second thing is BRICS alternative idea is the landscape of global governance. Global governance, like I've showed you an image over there, where all the heads of the world sit together and govern together, all right. The third one is expansion of BRICS interaction to other sectors will make it a more strong partnership, okay. So these are the three that the members that bring about a cooperation among the members, all right. So next we will see OPEC. So what is OPEC? OPEC is the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. If you see on the map, you can see over there South America, you can see Africa, you can see western part of Asia. You can see all the countries which export petroleum, all right. If you look at the slide over there, you can see Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia and Venezuela are the OPEC's founder members, okay. Now we also have the headquarters in Vienna, Austria. Now there are three categories of memberships. One is founder members, the other is full members and associate members, okay. Right now there are 15 member nations. Now if you see in the map, 2 in South America, you have 6 in the Middle East and 7 in Africa. Now OPEC membership is open to any country. Any country can join, but they should export crude oil, okay, and they should also share the ideals of their organization, all right. Now if you look over here, what is founder members, what is full members and what is associate members? Now founder members of the organization are those countries which were represented at OPEC's first conference, okay. It was held in Baghdad in September 1960 and they were the ones who signed the original agreement. So these were the founding members, all right. Next we have full members. The full members are the founder members plus those countries whose applications for membership have been accepted by the conference. Like how we read in the previous slide, OPEC is open to all. Anyone can join, but they should be exporting crude oil. So full members is the founding members plus the other members who join, okay, because it is open to all. Now, associate members. Who are associate members? Associate members are the countries which do not qualify for full membership, but which are nevertheless admitted under such special conditions as may be prescribed by the conference. So, they do not come under the category that is enlisted, okay, but they have some other special condition that is prescribed by the conference, and that is why they are added as associate members. Alright, what is OPEC's mission? In fact, down over there on the slide, I have a picture of the oil rig. Now, what is OPEC's mission? To coordinate oil policies in the member countries. So, all the countries who are members, they coordinate the various policies pertaining to the export, okay. Helps stabilize oil markets, okay, to secure fair and stable income to petroleum producers, an efficient economic and regular supply of oil to consuming nations, a fair return on capital to those investing in the petroleum industry. So, this is OPEC's mission and it stands by it, okay, to be fair to all the members and to stabilize the markets. Now, how does OPEC help other countries? Okay, now all around the world we need petroleum. Yes, we need oil, we need gas, we need all these things. These things play a very important role in our lives. Yes, okay, now how does it help other countries? The OPEC Fund for International Development is an institute that helps finance projects with low interest loans. Okay, it's always bad when you take a loan. Yes, the interest is very high. The interest itself goes up more than the principal sometimes. Yes, when it accumulates. So here they are saying it helps other countries by giving low interest loans. It also provides grants to social and humanitarian projects. Okay, a grant is something which is like an allowance. Okay, it gives a certain amount to various social and humanitarian projects. Now, OPEC has an information center with over 20,000 volumes, including books, reports, maps. Now, here they have everything, okay, related to petroleum, energy and oil market. And in fact, it is open, like if you see in the last point, all this resource and all this books and all that are open for the public to use and research. Many researchers and students are all reading this and learning more about the various conference proceedings related to petroleum, energy and oil market. Okay. Now, what is India's relationship with OPEC? Now, India is one of the biggest consumers of crude oil. Okay. One, we do not have enough oil reserves in our country. Okay. And we cannot produce oil. If you see down over there in the point, it says India doesn't have enough oil reserves, India cannot produce oil. And that is why we are one of the biggest consumers of OPEC. Alright, we are like the customer because we always buy, we purchase. Now, OPEC obviously has vested interest in India's economic growth. We import 86% of crude oil, okay, that's really a lot. 70% is natural gas, 95% for cooking gas from OPEC countries. Now, India has been identified as a great partner for OPEC, mainly because of its high oil demand. Yes, so it's like we are giving a lot of business. Yes or no? When somebody buys a lot of things from you, they are giving you a lot of business. Now it's like supply and demand. They have the supply, we have the demand. So we buy from the OPEC countries. All right. Now India has been identified as a great partner. I already read this because of the high oil demand. Now, devoid of necessary oil reserves, India strongly focuses on agriculture and industrial production. If you look at our economy, most of it deals with agriculture and various industries, manufacturing, okay, because we do not have enough oil reserves to go into that line. So, we demand for it and OPEC supplies us, all right. Now, so coming to the end of this lesson, all right, if you see over there, we have the India map. Apart from economic and trade cooperation, India also aspires to have a warm relationship with neighbors and extended neighbors in the field of education, health, fighting terrorism, disaster management, employment for its citizens, curbing organized crimes and technology development. Very true. In this entire lesson, we saw all throughout how India has tried to be and always been on its best, try to be a good friend, try to help the neighboring countries, try to always collaborate with growing powers to help each other, help the growth of the economy, provide for backward countries and try to bring them up. Okay, so India plays actually a very, very important role in bringing up underdeveloped nations as well. Okay, so this lesson we have learned about all the various agreements that have been signed and the various collaborations that India has with all the other powers, with all the other nations of the world. All right. So I hope you understood this lesson, children. And like I said in the first part, like I said then, I'm telling you now again, if you do not understand, please read. Okay. If you don't understand, then also read again. You will be bound to understand sooner or later. Reading is very, very important. All right. Thank you, children.